Hey guys, Bluebridge here. The name may have been changed from White Hart Lane to the Tottenham Stadium, but to Chelsea it's still 3 Point Lane. We better not lose. Before I get into the preview of the game, once again, our thoughts and prayers go out to those in Jamaica and the other Caribbean islands that have been affected by Hurricane Melissa. Jamaica was hit more than most, and if you'd like to help, go to supportjamaica.gov.jm. That's supportjamaica.gov.jm. Every bit of support you can give financially will be of great help for the country. I've been watching a lot of videos and it's heartbreaking to see what's going on in my home country. I'll be over there hopefully in 3 weeks time, so I'll be trying to do whatever I can to help the people of Jamaica. So you can do your bit as well financially, so please can you help towards a good cause. Anyway, now on to this video that we got Tottenham at the weekend, and since 1990 I think Tottenham have only beaten us 9 times in 30 years. 9 times in 30 years. Let that sink in. I think their best spell was under Pochettino. I think they got 3 wins in a row against us. Unheard of. But since the last time under Potter, that doesn't count because it was Potter. Since then, we've won our last 4 games against Tottenham, including Maresca doing a double over them last season. So let's hope that he continues that trend, because we don't want to be defeated by Tottenham. Tottenham's home record isn't that great this season. They've only won 1 game. They've been better on the road than they have been at their home ground. But this is Chelsea we're talking about, Charity FC, and we have not been consistent this season. You know, we've looked fantastic in some games, not fantastic in some parts of some games, and horrific in some other games. If we play like we did in the first 15-20 minutes of the game against Wolverhampton in the cup over at in midweek, then we could be okay. But if it's anything like that second half performance, then it could be messy. So that's what I'm saying. We just don't know what Chelsea are going to turn up, such as our inexperience. And I was watching the press conference today from Maresca, and 2 things. And we saw Delap get sent off. And I go back to that video I made a few weeks ago where Maresca said he doesn't like to punish his players for red cards. He prefers to talk to them, but that doesn't send out a good message, because there's a disciplinary issue at the club at the moment, and we need to really be taking a tougher stance on people. I get it when it's a professional foul, the last man, like the Sanchez one and the Chalobah one, but when you're looking at avoidable ones, which is just down to pure petulance and a lack of control, I'm thinking of the João Pedro one in the last minute. We didn't have to have his foot up that high. I'm looking at, especially looking at the Wolverhampton Wanderers one the other day with Delap, was pure stupidity. To be fair to the manager, he did come out and condemn the player for what he had done, and I think I'm reading as well that there's going to be a fine which is going to be implemented by the club, not the players, because Maresca was saying that he likes the players to introduce their own discipline. No, it should come up from the top, and so now I think this has come from the very top above Maresca. So the hierarchy is saying, you know what, enough is enough. We got to stamp this out. So we need to be a lot more stricter in the way we implement our discipline, or for fines for discipline. Okay, I did mention about the Chalobah one and the other. The Sanchez one, but they still should. Okay, they may not have meant to do it, but you still should be getting a fine for it, because sometimes I don't mean to drive at 31, 32 miles an hour. I could just miss the lack of concentration, but I still have to pay a fine if I get caught. So mistakes, even mistakes, there's consequences for those particular mistakes. So, and the other thing, which is the big talking point, especially after conceding another goal to a set play against Wolverhampton, another one to a long throw. That was mentioned a bit on the pre-match press conference. And Maresca's response, I wasn't convinced with it. Okay, he said we scored a lot offensively, but so we expect to concede a lot offensively. So when he didn't say how he's going to be dealing with the issue, and that's a bit worrying for me, because he said it just happens sometimes. But there are things that we can do to deal with the issue, and a lot of people are saying height and physicality. But if we're scoring a lot, then it's not really a height and physicality issue. It's obviously we're doing something right now with Cuevas, the set piece coach. It took a while, but now we're seeing that we are scoring goals from set plays now. I think we only, after Arsenal, we scored the second amount of set play goals in the league, but conceding, I think we're probably the most of conceding from set plays. So I think it's more than, okay, the physicality and height does pose a problem, but other clubs who in the past have dealt with it through the way that they've set up when they are dealing with these situations. And for me, one of the big issues, one of the main things I've seen when we set up, a lot of the goals, especially the 3 goals that we've conceded from throw-ins, have been where guys have come in at the far post, because obviously we haven't conceded directly with a long throw and it's headed into the goal. It's usually from the flick on the second and third ball. We're not competing well enough for that, and we are finding ourselves in a situation where everyone is drawn to the ball and you have nobody dealing with the man at the back post. We saw that against Brentford when their player came in and scored at the back post. We saw it with Wolverhampton and to an extent the game the other week against Sunderland. So is it about putting somebody on the far post? Is it about somebody being more attentive to the last man runners at that back post? So those are little things we can tweak or look at, because you made that mistake once, that's fine. Twice, okay, 3 times it's unforgivable, and teams are finding that this is a way that they can exploit Chelsea by just having someone making that late run at the far post and getting the flick on to knock the ball in the back of the net. So there are things that we can do about it tactically. So that's my thought anyway. I'm not a manager, I'm not a coach, and it's easier for me to look in there from my TV box to notice that. But if I've noticed that, then surely the management should have noticed that also. So yeah, we dare not lose against Tottenham, guys. This is not, this is something that's in Chelsea's DNA. This is guaranteed for us. They've got a lot of injuries, problems as well. We've got injuries, so we can't blame that. But we've got to watch out for their set plays. And Van der Ven scored 2 goals from set plays the other day. So this is an area that they're good at. They've got Danso with a long throw, so you know that they're going to be throwing in a lot of long throws in the box and trying to get a bit of joy from that. So we lose this game against Tottenham. Obviously I've always said we're not challenging for the title, but that's going to put a bigger gap between us and the top 4, which we should be aiming for as a bare minimum this season. So, you guys confident about going into the match against Tottenham, or are you a bit nervous? Do you think we're going to concede from a set play again or not? Like to see your comments in the section below. Don't forget, as always, like, subscribe, turn on post notifications so you'll be notified when I make a new video. So take care. Bless up, Jamaica. Bye-bye.